Welcome to the Gen X Journey podcast. Dive into all things important to Gen Xers, from advice on aging parents, expert interviews, product reviews, and heartfelt conversations. So put down the joystick, grab your Walkman, dust off your old yearbooks, and welcome to the Gen X Journey.
Today we're going to take a page out of the old Wayback Chronicles book and go back in time to the year of 1985. And in today's episode, we're going to talk specifically about the highest grossing films of 1985, some true classics, some, I don't think there's a single one on this list for the first time ever that I can say I've never seen that one.
Right.
So,
true.
Keith, Noel, you want to help run through the highest grossing films of 85?
Yeah. I mean, shout out to Wayback for throwing us off with this last week. She sent us a Wayback Time Machine. So we're going to have a fun time talking over the next few months about 1985, leading up to a summer event that should be vivid in every Gen Xer's memory. So we're starting today with movies, and I'll start with number 10, Noel. And I absolutely love this movie. It grossed over $60 million, and it was a film that starred, the two main guys were Chevy Chase and Dan Aykroyd, and that was the spy comedy film Spies Like Us. One of the absolute funniest movies that I can remember about the Cold War stuff. You know what I mean? So great.
I love that movie.
Yes.
It's been years since I've seen that, but this is like Chevy Chase and Dan Aykroyd, and Chevy Chase is like, "We're Americans. We're the best. We're the best. If we're not, what are we doing here?"
Right. Oh man.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
there.
Basic plot: Austin Milbarge, a code breaker dwelling in the dark basement at the Pentagon, who aspires to escape his underrespected job to become a secret agent, meets up with Emmett Fitzhugh, a wisecracking, pencil-pushing son of an envoy, and takes a foreign service exam under peer pressure. And they meet during the test, on which Fitzhugh openly cheats after his attempts to bribe his female supervisor and the test monitor in exchange for the answers both fail. Milbarge was not prepared to take the test, having had only one night to study after his supervisor deliberately withheld a 2-week notice for the exam, leaving him vulnerable to fail. So basically, after that, they meet up and chaos ensues as secret agents. You know, it kind of reminds me, like, this is the spy version of the movie Stripes is the military version.
Yeah.
And we've got to do a Stripes talk soon, but that's
Bill Murray.
John Candy. Oh man.
Yeah. Bill Murray, John Candy, and that other guy from he was in
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters too.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah. Harold Ramis.
Yeah, Harold Ramis.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Such a great movie. I know we're going off a tangent, but yeah. I mean, it's just stuff like that. But yeah, Spies Like Us is great Cold War humor. Probably, well, it could be a little, since we're still kind of hating on Russia again a little, but so yeah, there's definitely something there. So that's it's a great movie. But $60 million, that was the top 10 spot. So definitely recommend anybody that hasn't seen this, if they want some stupid humor, to go watch it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
I opened up the door for whoever's next to have one of the best movies, in my opinion, of all time.
All right, well, I'll take number 9 then. Keith, why don't you take it?
No way. Do it.
Okay, all right. So number 9 is I'm surprised this isn't higher on the list, because I think it's, of all the movies on the list, this might be top 3 as far as classics.
Mm-hmm.
But it is the movie The Goonies. It box office grossed over $61 million. Which is amazing. In 85, $61 million was amazing money. Nowadays is a flop in the box office. If it's only $61 million. But so in 85, American adventure comedy film, directed and co-produced by Richard Donner, from a screenplay by Chris Columbus, not the Nina Pina and Santa Maria dude,
right.
But based on a story by Steven Spielberg and starring Sean Astin, Josh Brolin, Jeff Cohen, a lot of names that make us feel old. Corey Feldman, and fortunately, Corey Feldman passed away some time ago, if I remember right.
No, he's good. Corey Haim's the one that passed away.
Oh, Corey Haim did?
Corey Feldman's still around, yeah.
Okay, my apologies, Corey
Yeah,
Feldman.
yeah. No, I forgot that Josh Brolin was the older brother in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, he was.
Yeah, I was like, oh
Yeah.
wow, yeah. You go back and watch it, and you see this like, younger face of Thanos, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, wow, I forgot that he was in there. So yeah. So
Yeah.
I think this movie, honestly, was one of those that it definitely gained a cult following over time
Yeah.
that
Yes, it
made
did.
it to be the image of the movie that we see today. Because I remember seeing it and going, man, that was a good movie. And then the more I thought about it, the more I loved it. And it was like it's kind of like, to me, it equates a little bit to the kids in ET riding the bikes. Like you've got that gang of Gen X kids that are out to solve a thing, and I love it. I think it's a perfect example of the Gen X adventure that the parents have no idea where we are. We're in the middle of a pirate ship about to die, and our parents don't even have a clue we've left. That kind of thing. It's the ultimate Gen X kids show, I think. And it's funny. I don't know if you've ever shown this to your kids or not, but I've got split opinions. Like some of my younger family members love it. Some of my family members thinks it's super boring. So it's really funny.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, to me, it's the ultimate Gen X kids adventure movie.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, I recall reading at one point that whenever in the movie when the kids came out of that water slide,
Pirate ship?
and they
Oh,
saw the
yeah.
pirate ship for the first time, that was really the first time they saw. So the
Wow.
reaction to it was
It was real.
genuine. It
Oh,
wasn't
that's cool.
an act, and I thought that was cool. I mean, so many times where I quote this movie, sloth love chonk, and Baby Ruth,
Baby Ruth.
Baby Ruth.
Yeah, great movie.
You know, the Goonies house is located at 368 38th Street in Astoria, Oregon.
Huh.
And it's a very popular destination for fans of the movie. And like basically every year it draws thousands of visitors that drive by the house. I mean, it's owned by, like people, not like it's not actually like a museum or anything like that. It's actually people live there,
Yeah.
but they have people that just stop by. Can you imagine having thousands of people coming
That
outside your house,
would be
taking pictures and stuff? It would freak me out.
wild.
It'll get old after a while.
Oh,
Very,
man.
very old,
You know,
very fast.
It's got to be the same with the Christmas Story house. It's got to be the same.
Totally. Yeah, people that want to go see it have to park like blocks away and then walk to the house, just because the residents that own the house or don't want all these cars parked outside their house and stuff. I can't even imagine. I think I'd be like, you know what? I'm good. I'll just move.
You think you could sell that for a bank too? Somebody that's a
Very
nostalgia person, you could make some money and buy a really nice house that's more secluded.
Yeah.
Pretty wild. So that's a good one. That's up there with some of the best.
Yeah.
Noel, what you got?
Do I get number 8 on the list?
Do you want it?
I have never seen it, but I can give you a synopsis of it because I did some research on it if you'd like.
Okay. Yeah. So this, I would say that none of us have seen this. This probably wasn't in our genre of things because it wasn't really a kids movie. I don't know much about it either. So go ahead.
It's the movie. The movie's name number 8. Let me start that over. Number 8 on the list is the movie called Witness, and it was a thriller drama starring Harrison Ford, Kelly McGillis from Top Gun fame, and then Lucas Haas. I don't think don't know Lucas Haas.
I don't.
And the movie was directed by Peter Weir. It's like a crime thriller romance, and kind of has a gripping plot and deep cultural themes. The film follows John Book, played by Harrison Ford, a tough Philadelphia detective who is assigned to protect Samuel Lapp, who's played by Lucas Haas. Samuel Lapp is a young Amish boy who witnesses a brutal murder in a train station bathroom. When Book investigates, he discovers that the killers are corrupt police officers. After an assassination attempt on him, he flees with Samuel and his mother, Rachel Lapp, played by Kelly McGillis, to their Amish community in rural Pennsylvania. So as that's kind of the plot behind it. But anyway, the cultural clash is just this. The movie explores a stark contrast between the modern, violent world of the city and the peaceful, traditional Amish lifestyle. So, and then there's a romance that develops between Harrison Ford's character and Kelly McGillis's character, but their different worlds make that impossible. So he's not Amish and she is and stuff. So
interesting. I bet he took her breath away.
that's a scene. That's a scene. That song. Every time I hear that song, I just see tongues. I don't know why. Just
wow. Okay. That's wild. I can honestly say now I'm going to look for tongues when I watch that again.
Yeah, watch that scene. I'll shoot that scene to you on YouTube, and you'll quickly understand why tongues comes to mind when you hear that song.
That's awesome. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's something else. But.
Yeah, not one of the movies I recall. I mean, probably one of the only movies with Harrison Ford I probably haven't seen, to be honest.
Yeah, Steve, have you seen it?
I don't. I said that I know all 10 of these movies. I lied. This is one I've never seen before, but
yeah,
I'm mentioning it to Robin because I think she'd be. This sounds like something she would love.
Right.
Yeah. So. This is a Linda movie too. She likes those drama, romance type things and stuff. So I think that'd probably be something she'd probably like. But absolutely. Anyway,
good stuff.
All right. Steve, Keith. Oh, Keith, it's your turn, right? Okay. You've taken 7.
So yeah, 7 was a sequel and a follow up to the movie that kind of I would consider it a spinoff of the Indiana Jones franchise. And it was called the sequel, the movie that came out this year in the 7th position, earning just under $76 million, was The Jewel of the Nile, that starred Michael Douglas, Kathleen Turner, and Danny DeVito. And I remember watching. I watched Romancing the Stone quite a bit. I think I've only seen this one time, but I do remember that I really liked them a lot. They were fun movies. I think they were a little edgier. There was a lot more I don't know. There was a lot more cussing in it. I remember than I was comfortable with. Thinking I was going on an Indiana Jones ride. I remember that. I mean, I'm sure it's compared to what it is now, it's nothing. You know what I mean? So
yeah, totally.
Yeah, but it was it was pretty good show. Interestingly enough, so the movie Romancing the Stone was basically, it was the only produced screenplay for a lady writer, Diane Thomas. She was a waitress in Malibu when producer star Michael Douglas optioned her script that she wrote for $250,000, allowing her to quit her job. However, what's interesting about this is she died in a car accident while working on a new movie project with Steven Spielberg the next year, about 7 weeks before the opening of this film, this Romancing the Stone. She was a passenger while her boyfriend was driving a Porsche that Douglas had bought for her as a thank you gift, ironically. So you'll see the movie being dedicated to in memory of Diane Thomas for that reason. So that's interesting.
How about that?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Talk about a full circle sad instance. But anyway, yeah. So Jewel of the Nile, kind of a spinoff on the Indiana Jones trilogy or whatever it is now. But yeah, good ride, a little edgier, a little more adult humor, I think, but still a pretty good show.
Yeah. I think it's pretty cool. Yeah. Pretty cool. Yeah. So, the end title song on this little trivia, little end title song of the movie is Billy Ocean's "When the Going Gets Tough, the Tough Get Going." I know. I'm surprised I said that without singing it, but anyway,
hard not to.
It is hard. But yeah, it was a Billy Ocean song that was the end title.
Absolutely. Steve, we're teeing you up for the next one pretty good. I know you've got some comments about this one.
Yeah, so we've shared this meme numerous times about the movie. We'll talk about that meme here in a second. But number 6 on the list is the movie Cocoon, grossing just over $76 million. And the meme that we're referring to is whenever Wilford Brimley and much of the cast filmed this movie, we think of them being elderly and so forth. They were all younger than we were when they recorded this movie, and so
that
you know,
stings.
a little bit eye opener, and you know what, that's fine, whatever. But for those that don't remember this 1985 movie, it was an American science fiction comedy drama film directed by Ron Howard and written by Tom Benedict from a story written by David Saperstein. Anyway, follows a bunch of basically a group of elderly people that were rejuvenated by aliens. So the film was shot in and around St. Petersburg, Florida, with locations amongst the St. Petersburg Shuffleboard Club, Suncoast Manor Retirement Community, the Coliseum, a lot of cool areas around the place. But I always, we refer to this as, my grandma's favorite movie, just because I feel like, she watched it numerous times. But, a great movie, great. I'm still blown away that they're younger than we were.
Yeah. Some of them were older, but Wilford Brimley was between 49 and 50 when he was recording and this movie was released. So
good Lord,
that hurts. In fact, last year they showed a comparison at the same age of Wilford Brimley and Paul Rudd, and they were the exact same years, and the difference in the ages, it's being exactly the same, but the difference in looks is just uncanny. It's wild how different it is. But to his credit, though, Wilford Brimley did have to dye his hair gray and make himself look older. So I guess we could credit that anyway. But still, I just remember these folks looking ancient, and here I am in that age, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is what kids think of me and my look right now. I'm sure that's so sad. So, but did you see that movie, Noel?
Yes, I did. That was cool.
I actually don't think I've ever seen it.
You've never seen it?
It was cool.
Interesting movie.
One of these little alien looking dudes or something like that. Been years since I've seen it, but it's cool.
That's cool. Yeah, I need to.
Yeah,
there's a couple of these I need to go back and see, like just for the sake of saying I've seen them now. That one's one of them for sure, because it had a lot of positive reviews and stuff about it, so I want to see it.
Yep, very cool.
All right, Noel, you're up.
All right, next up on the list is number 5, which is Out of Africa. Did you guys ever see this?
I did not.
Both of y'all didn't?
Yeah, I did. I don't remember it very well, but
it had Meryl Streep and Robert Redford in it. It was a film based on the memoir Out of Africa by Karen Blixen. And it was recounting her experiences in British East Africa, which is now Kenya, in the early 20th century. So it's based on a true story from way back in the day. But so the kind of a summary of the plot: Karen Blixen, who is played by Meryl Streep, is a Danish baroness who moves to Africa in 1913 to marry Baron Bror Blixen. Could you make his name more jacked up? Baron Bror Blixen. Hello, my name is Baron Bror Blixen. That's a lot of B's, man.
Right.
Plays by, this doesn't get easier, Klaus Maria Brandor. So anyway. More.
Wow.
So Meryl Streep is a Danish baroness who moved to Africa in 1913 to marry the Triple B. More out of convenience and love, she establishes a coffee plantation in Kenya, but soon discovers that her husband is unfaithful and more interested in hunting than farming. Amidst her struggles, Karen falls in love with Dennis Finch Hatton, which is played by Robert Redford. And he's a rugged and free-spirited English hunter who introduces her to the breathtaking landscapes of Africa. The romance is passionate but complicated. He values his independence while Karen desires commitment. So it's an amazing film. It was actually filmed in Kenya. And so all the scenes and everything are actually in Kenya, and actually was including Karen Blixen's actual house, the author of the whole thing. And it's actually it's a museum now, but it's pretty cool. The Meryl Streep basically perfected a Danish accent for the movie. And she did that by listening to old recordings of Blixen speaking to get it just right. So there was a high attention to detail on her part. Anyway, it won 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Cinematography. So it was pretty amazing. But great movie. Typically, those movies that win a lot of awards usually suck. Or at least that's my experience.
Yeah,
But
just not
in my opinion,
for sure.
but not this one. This was a pretty good. And I remember watching it as a kid and even going, "That's a pretty dang good movie."
Okay.
Had a lot of depth to it, but I haven't seen it in years. But it was pretty darn cool. So
awesome.
And that's Keith. I think it kind of teed you up for yours being another pretty deep and good movie that won a lot of awards too.
Yeah, and I honestly, it's funny. The middle group of these years are not movies that I watched, but this one that was the number. What are we at? Number 4, grossing just over $94 million is the movie The Color Purple, and The Color Purple basically is starred by Whoopi Goldberg, and this basically was the role that got her chance at stardom in a breakthrough role. Danny Glover, Oprah Winfrey, and that was her film debut. Margaret Avery and Adolph Caesar. So very interestingly enough, John Williams did not compose the score, which usually, since this is directed by Steven Spielberg, usually it's a John Williams score, but actually the composer of the score of this movie was Quincy Jones. So I thought that was an interesting change for what it is. But basically it follows an African-American teenager in the early 20th century in rural Georgia who've lost 2 children by her abusive father. He gives her away as a wife to Mr., who also abuses her, and his children mistreat her. Celie's loving younger sister, Nettie, runs away from the abusive father and seeks shelter with Celie, and the sisters promise to write if they're separated. And it's just a lot of really negative things that happen to her and their whole family. But so anyway, it's an interesting plot of a movie. I remember seeing parts of it, but I have not seen the entire movie. So I would love to turn this over to one of y'all. Interestingly enough, one of the main producers in this, in addition to Steven Spielberg, was Kathleen Kennedy. If people know that name, she is basically responsible as of right now for the entire franchise of Star Wars. So that's interesting. Anyway, so I will turn this more over to y'all if you have seen this. I don't want to butcher something that's a really respected movie.
This is one of those I saw, as a kid, way back in the day. I don't have very many memories of it, but I just remember it was one of those. I left with the same impression after I watched the Out of Africa movie, where it was like, wow, that one, that's a good movie. It had a lot to it, but I don't have anything necessarily to add to what you had a good summary there.
I mean, seriously, that's a good movie is the equivalent to that's a bad oil spill for this episode.
That's a good movie. I'll tell you what,
good movie.
Did it win any awards? Do you know?
I don't know. Let's see. I will find out while we move on to the next one. I'll ask the research department.
Kick that out to the research department. Steve, you up to 3?
Sounds good. So I just realized I'm on mute and all my laughing y'all never heard. Great.
No, I was like, wow, he's being a snob. Jeez.
Oh yeah,
you don't see me laughing without any sound coming out. That's gonna be weird.
I just thought you were like holding it in or something. I'm like, okay.
Oh wow. So yeah, it had 14 wins and 25 nominations.
Ooh.
So
yeah, gosh,
it did okay. Yes. So it was definitely at least of the Academy Awards in the USA. Yeah. Best performance by an actress in a motion picture, Golden Globes, Whoopi Goldberg, Oprah Winfrey, best performance by an actress in a supporting role. Best original score was Quincy Jones. Best director. So a lot of Golden Globes, a lot of nominations. Best picture, best actress in a leading and supporting role. Two best actresses in a supporting role. Best writing, screenplay. I can't talk tonight. Best cinematography, best art direction, best costume design, best music, original song, Best music original score, best makeup. So yeah, they had a lot of nominations and a lot of awards throughout the movie industry's awards. So pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And actually, the book won a Pulitzer Prize in 1983 that was leading up to it. So
I got to say, though, it's got to be the most boring movie title of all time.
Right?
The Color Purple.
Yeah, there's got to be a reason behind it.
That's why you have to watch the movie.
Yeah, basically, for sure. That's why I need to watch the movie, because it was a good.
And then they
movie.
wait till from what I remember, at the very end, there's like they roll all the credits, and then at the very end, there's a guy that comes out and he's like, this is why we call it the color purple. And then that was it. It's like one of those, it was like the first one of those Marvel things where they have like all the credits and you have to stick around and everything. And then you're like, why the hell did they call it the goddamn color purple, man? And everybody is sitting around the theater going, why the hell did they call it the color purple? And like, you got to stay and watch and stay here. It's like a private, like secret scene, man. And they're like, oh, okay. This is in 85, remember? So before the internet, but I stuck around.
That's awesome, I guess. Here, I've Googled the real reason.
That's just what I remember, though. It's been years.
Well, yeah, it may be hazy. So the novel Color Purple by Alice Walker is titled as such because of a poignant moment where Shug Avery, a character in the novel, tells Celie that she believes it, quote, pisses God off if you walk by the color purple in a field and don't notice it. There you go.
That was the after scene.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now we know.
Yep. And they're like, you can go in peace now. You know.
Yeah. Are you making that up, or are you really serious?
No, I'm serious.
I'm
making it all.
Okay, good. I just really was curious. Okay.
You
sell it sometimes really well. I'm like, I'm going to go watch the thing.
I'll just say this: we spent way too much time on that movie.
We did.
Okay,
Not very much about it, no doubt.
We can cut some of that stuff
We
out.
probably will. That's funny though.
Yeah.
All right. So
next, no, we actually have like 18 minutes of
And that wraps up the first of our top 10 movies of 1985. I'm curious if you can guess what the bottom two, without Googling, what the movies are. And I'm looking forward to hearing what that is in our next episode next week.
Take care, everybody.
See you, everybody.
The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed in the Gen X Journey podcast belong solely to the hosts and guests and do not necessarily represent the views or opinions of any entity they are associated with. The information provided is for entertainment and informational purposes only and should not be considered professional advice. Listeners are encouraged to seek the advice of qualified professionals for any specific issues they may face. The creators and contributors of this podcast make no representations as to the accuracy, completeness, or validity of any information, and will not be liable for any errors, omissions, or any losses, injuries, or damages arising from its use.